Good morning, learners.
Good morning.
So I have to say that yesterday I was so very impressed with the productivity in our classroom. Right, Maddie? You even commented on it. That was such a great workshop, Ms. Champagne. And I think that it was such a productive workshop because you were all really plugged in. Snap if you felt really plugged in yesterday. And I was impressed not just by what you were doing as writers, but how you were doing it. You were working with such exceptional purpose. Gracie, when we were together, first we were debating in our pro-con teams, and then when I said go to it, you sat down right at your Chromebook and you said, Ms. Champagne, is it okay that I write my first body paragraph because I like to save my introduction for later? What a purposeful decision. Another learner said, Ms. Champagne, I took notes electronically and I don't know what I should do with them. Oh, no, I know, I need to think what reason they match. So now that learner has a purpose for today. And I was thinking about this last night, that this is the work of writers. All authors, before they sit down to do work, make a plan. And as we're going from personal essay to research-based essay, we can think about everything we know so that we can make a really clear plan so that we can be independent and productive. So, I pulled out my one and only daddy. I wrote this personal essay about my dad. And can I just read the intro? Oh, thanks. People often say that I have my father's smile. My greatest hope is that I might become as good a person as he was. My daddy, Malcolm Champagne Jr., was one of the brightest lights ever to have shone here on earth. His fun presence, loving nature, and supportive ways make him one of my dearest blessings. So just by looking back at my personal essay, I remember, oh, I need to make sure that my opinion's clear in the introduction. I need to have 3 reasons. And then if I look back through all of this work, and I even maybe go back to the charts that I used to build this essay, now I have a place to begin from for this argument essay. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okie dokie. So considering that, I now want to make sure that I create a to-do list that I can actually work with. So here's my writer's notebook. This is where I like to do my thinking. Today, in order to do my very best work and be efficient, right? We want to make the most of our time. I'm going to make myself a to-do list. So as I create mine, could you be counting right now on your fingers in your head? I want you to think, what do I know about how to craft an essay, period, an essay, period. And I don't want you just poking just for the heck of it, right? I need an introduction. I need a hook. I want you to think, what do you know about essay writing? So as I make my to-do list, I want you to kind of create your list on your own. So please put your thumb up if you had thought about somehow having all of your evidence come together. Did anybody think about that? Did anybody think about going into our text sets from the other day and thinking, wow, I've got all this evidence. I've got 5 different pieces that could fit in paragraph 1. Did anybody think about choosing the best pieces? Thumb up. Thumb up if you thought about how you might order that evidence before you draft. And then keep your thumb up if you thought about actually getting into drafting today, moving from planning to writing. Okie dokie. So this, learners, is the job for writing workshop today. It seems like we all have similar to-do lists. So how are we going to go about that? you might choose to make a plan, McKenna, in your writer's notebook because it's there for you to go back to. I know you really use Google Read Write and you use your Google Classroom at home, so if you want to continue this work at home, that's a smart choice for you. Tristan, I know you like to have Post-its right next to you, yeah? So what about putting the to-do list on a Post-it works for you? Thank you, learners, for looking at Tristan.
I think that it helps because like it's right there and I can like write on it and I don't have to really like looking up at stuff, but it can be like right there all the time.
Mm-hmm. And clap if you actually are the type of writer that goes back and is like, yep, I did that. Some of you might want to actually type this to-do list into your top of your document. So just like we would organize the structure before we did our information writing, you might want to be able to say, okay, I'm going to do this first. It's up at the top and you can delete it later. So I'm going to ask those of you who would like to electronically type in your to-do list, meaning I want to see it on the computer and scroll back to it. Take your writing materials and go back to your table, please. So those of you who would prefer to use Post-its, you're going to make your plan right next to you, head on back with your materials.